if nothing else matters, we have a lot of little intricate things happening. So I'm going to break it down into small bite-sized pieces to make it as easy as possible to learn. So the first thing we're going to learn is just this basic opening pattern. The first thing to notice is that you have this rhythm of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. And it's pretty easy because we're just using open strings. So the first set of 3 is going to be on the 6th string, the 3rd and the 2nd, and then the second set of 3 is going to be 1st, 2nd and 3rd strings. So it's happening kind of like in a loop. You have 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And there I'm referring to the string numbers. So that's the first little bite size to master. Now here's the second step. What's happening there is you start off by hitting the 7th fret on the 1st string, and then you hit the open 6th string and the 7th fret again. After that you climb up the open 2nd string and the open 3rd string. So it's like, from there you do a pull off from the 7th fret to the open string. And then you do more open strings. It's going to be 2nd string, 3rd string, 6th string, and back to the 3rd string. So if you're following along with the tab, you're going to find it a lot easier. Let's try and put all of that into context now. Now what's very important is that once you learn the step-by-steps, you try and make the transitions from one to the other. So let's try and join up these first two little segments that we've learned. So you have your intro pattern first. Now let's learn the next section. So what's happening there is kind of a lead line. You go back and you grab that 7th fret on the high E string and you hit it in tandem with the open B string above. Then you do the same thing, but this time with the 8th fret. And then you do kind of like a hammer on, pull off and slide back. So you're hammering on from 7 to 8, pulling off back to 7 and then sliding back to 5. Just like that. So notice you're just picking it once. So let's try to put those two bits together. Then you go back and you hit the 7th fret and then you slide from 5 down to 3 before the open high E string. So putting it all together. Once more. Now as always, let's try and join up the previous parts. Here's what the next part sounds like. So when we joined it up with the melody line before, it's really important that you practice that transition. What's happening is that you're forming a chord shape with the 5th fret on the 3rd string and the 5th fret on the 2nd string. So after the melody notes, you need to get to that shape using fingers 3 and 4. And Once you get to that shape, you're actually hitting the open 5th string and the open 1st string together. And then the pattern goes like this. So again, if you have the tab sheet, it's going to make it a lot simpler to follow along. Basically, you're hitting the open 5th string and the 1st together, then the 3rd string, 2nd, and then you pull off with your 1st finger from the 2nd fret to the open high E string. Then you go back up, 2nd string, 3rd string, and then climb back up the chord again. So if I play it slowly, it might make a bit more sense. And a bit faster. So just try and practice that much on its own. And then also the transition point. Okay, that's very important. Once you have the transition, it's just a matter of putting in. Now let's try linking up everything that we have so far. Alright, next we have to grab 4 notes at once. It's going to be the open 5th string, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So you can see I'm using thumb and then fingers 1, 2, and 3. You pluck all of them together and we're still holding our A minor shape here of 5 and 5. Then using your 1st finger, you go and grab the 2nd fret on the 5th string. So it's a bit of a stretch. It's very important that your thumb position there is right at the back of the neck, kind of, so that it gives your wrist that ability to stretch the distance. And you hit the same strings again, 5, 3, 2, and 1. And then you move your 1st finger up 1 fret to the 3rd fret on the same string. And you hit it again, so it's like. Let's try putting it in with the chord shape below. So we had. More. Now we're into a C chord shape where we left off from the last segment. And so we have to do a pattern through this chord. It's going to be 5th string, 3rd, 2nd, and back to the 3rd. Then what's going to happen is you take off your 1st finger and you put it down here onto the 1st fret, sorry, the 1st string, 3rd fret, and you're going to pull off to the open string. So, and then you climb back up on the 2nd and 3rd strings. And you can actually make a little loop out of it to help you get this part. So it would be just that. So let's try and put it into a loop. And now let's join it up with, we had this chords kind of walking up. Once more. To keep it in context once again, let's take it from the melody notes going down. So after you've done that pattern on the C chord, you hit it again, and then you move the entire shape up to the 5th fret. So you now have your 1st string on the 5th fret and fingers 3 and 4 on the 7th fret, and you hit that entire chord. So it would be then it's a simple matter of doing the 5th string, 3rd, 2nd, and back to the 3rd. Let's try that. Once more. Now what happens is you have to take everything off, and you're going to do a hammer on and pull off from the open 1st string to the 5th fret and back to the open string. Then you pull off from the 7th fret on the B string to the open string, and you hammer on from the open B string to the 5th fret. So it's quite wide intervals there that you're hammering on and pulling off. Once more. So let's try and join it all up together. Next we go back to open strings and some harmonics, and you just hit the open 6th string, and then you climb up harmonics on the 12th fret, and you're just kind of touching your finger lightly directly in line with the 12th fret to get those harmonics. So it's like, and that's the final piece here of the 1st section. Let's play through this entire first part slowly now to help you kind of hear how it all gets put together at the end.